Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Liberal government should be ashamed of their approach to First Nations transparency. 300 band members from the Samson Cree Nation are now calling for a forensic audit into how their chief and council spent federal funds. They know that there was money that was supposed to be going into programs such as suicide and gang violence prevention, but they see very little change on the ground. When will the government respond to their plea for a forensic audit and also start to enforce the First Nations Transparency Act?
The Minister of Indigenous and Northern Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member for the question. Accountability and transparency are key tenets for all First Nations as well as for this government, and it's ensuring the delivery of the historic investments in Indigenous and Northern communities through Budget 2016. We are engaging with First Nations on the way forward in transparency and accountability, and as the member well knows, any member of any First Nation can ask our government to provide the audited financial statements at any time, and I welcome that request.
Honourable Member for Kamloops, Thompson Caribou.
Mr. Speaker, the story continues. Band members in Alexander and Onion Lakes First Nations are calling for financial transparency. In Alexander, an investigation identified $2.1 million in unexplained payments. In Onion Lake, they haven't even provided basic information. With the First Nations Transparency Act, band members, for the first time ever, have access to basic information that all Canadians deserve. When will they enforce the Financial Transparency Act?
Honourable Minister.
As the member well knows, Mr. Speaker, that top-down solutions don't work, and in the Kelowna Court, the call for a First Nations Auditor General was immediately torn up by the previous government. We are taking very seriously any allegations of misuse of public funds, and when necessary, we do conduct forensic audits to ensure that the funds were used properly. The audit was commissioned by Alexander First Nation, and therefore we cannot comment on it, but we were reviewing the situation in order to determine whether or not a forensic audit will be required.